Welcome back to Physics 30. So this is the second video in FM1.3, 1.4, looking at the equations for for uniform acceleration. So look at this example. How long does it take? So right away, how long does it take? We're looking for time. Does it take a car to cross a 30-meter wide intersection? That's D. After the light turns green, if the car accelerates from rest at a constant 2.00 meters per second squared, that is acceleration. So there we go. So you can see, identifying the variables right out of the bat, right out of the gate is really good. And figuring out what you don't know. So we know acceleration. Oh, this should be VI. This is initial velocity. It started from rest. So if I look through here, looking for T, given VI, not given VF, when no VF, there we go. It's the big equation. So delta D is equal to VIT plus 1/2 A delta T squared. 30 meters is the displacement starting from rest, and 1/2 of A, which is 2, and T. Now, thank goodness we have VI equals 0, because this would be a quadratic equation otherwise, and we'd have to factor or use the quadratic formula. But since that's a 0, this whole thing is going to be gone. So over here, 30 equals 1/2 of 2 is 1. So look at that, we just end up with delta T squared. So square root of 30, and that'll give us our time. So we get 5.477 seconds. If I look here, I have 3 sig figs. So I'll round off to be 3 sig figs. This is a 7th, so that's going to get bumped up to an 8. And this is a reasonable answer, 5.48 seconds to cross that road. All right, with the assignment, I think the first page is fairly straightforward. I do have a typo right here, though. It should be meters per second, not meters per W. That doesn't make sense, right? So a car accelerates from 14 meters per second to 21 meters per second. So VI and VF, just make that little change there. Key thing here is to write down your variables, look at the front page for the equation, or if you have the formula sheet, you can use that. And then, of course, round off to the right number of sig figs. So number 2 here, be careful with this one, especially part B. 2 sig figs. All right. Number 4, the baseball pitcher one. Now, when making this diagram, this arrow, of course, is supposed to be all the way to here. So starting here, where VI is equal to 0, and then having a V final here that reaches 43. And you're looking for acceleration, and you'll be surprised how big that number will be. The rest of these, I think, are fairly straightforward. So number 5 and 6, and then number 7, you should do okay. Again, key thing is read the question, write down the variables you know, write down the variable you're trying to find out, solve for that variable, see if the number is reasonable, and then round it off to the correct number of sig figs in the question. All right, we'll see you again.